Hello everyone, you are on the Betrayal Stories channel. Today I'm going to tell you my story, how I found out that my girlfriend is dating my most sworn enemy. This betrayal came as a shock to me, and I want to share with you how I found out about it and what happened next. If you are interested in such stories, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so as not to miss new releases. My name is Dimitri. I am 27 years old, and it always seemed to me that I was lucky enough in life. I had a good job, loyal friends, and most importantly, a wonderful girl named Lena. We had been dating for about 2 years now, and I was sure I had found someone I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. But everything changed when I found out about the betrayal, which forever changed my perception of love and trust. Lena was not only beautiful, but also kind, caring, and funny. She was able to find a common language with my friends, always supported me in difficult moments, and inspired me to do the best things. We talked about the future, about our family, about how we would travel the world and enjoy life. But as it turned out, those dreams didn't mean the same to her as they did to me. There has always been one dark figure in our lives, my former friend and now sworn enemy, Igor. Igor and I were friends at school and even at university, but then our paths diverged. At first it was a petty rivalry, but later we became direct competitors at work. Igor was a man who stopped at nothing for his own benefit. He often resorted to dirty tricks and manipulations to take a desired position or get a lucrative contract. Our enmity became personal, and we began to avoid each other at all costs. One day, after a busy day at work, Lena suggested spending the evening with her friends. I was a little surprised, as we usually spent evenings at home or with my friends. But I thought maybe she just wanted a change of scenery. We went to the bar, where a group of her friends had already gathered. They turned out to be pretty nice guys, and we had a good time. But something in Lena's behavior began to alarm me. She kept looking at her phone, checking her messages, and seemed to be waiting for something. I tried not to attach importance to this, but the inner anxiety did not leave me. After a few days, Lena began to go out often again to meet with friends. She had never spent so much time outside the house without me before. She said it was just a women's get-together, that she needed to spend time with her friends, but I still couldn't get rid of the feeling that something was wrong. She had a new sparkle in her eyes, a new energy, but I didn't understand where it came from. Every day my anxiety grew, and I began to suspect that she was hiding something. One evening, when Lena said she was going to meet her friends, I decided to stay at home and watch a football match. But a couple of hours later, my friend Alexei called me. He said that he saw Lena at one of the restaurants in the city center, and that she was not there with her friends, but with some man. His heart began to pound harder when Alexei mentioned that the man seemed familiar to him. He thought it was Igor. At first, I didn't believe it. It couldn't be true. Lena would never do such a thing, I kept telling myself, but my anxiety was already bothering me. I decided to go there myself and check it out. When I arrived at the restaurant, I actually saw the two of them at a table in the corner. They were sitting close to each other, talking and laughing, as if no one in the world could stop them. I felt my heart being torn apart. It was like a nightmare that I couldn't wake up from. I didn't know what to do. Approach them? Declare yourself. But I chose a different tactic. I decided to observe. Watching my girlfriend, with whom we shared everything we had, laugh and smile at my enemy. I didn't approach them, but just walked away in complete silence. When I got home, I couldn't eat or sleep. I just sat and stared into the void, trying to figure out how and when everything went wrong. Why did Lena choose him? The man I hated and who hated me. What did they have in common? How could he attract her? Lena returned late that night. I asked how the meeting with my friends went. She calmly replied that everything was fine. I couldn't believe my ears. She looked me straight in the eye and lied. At that moment, I realized that I couldn't live like this anymore. I couldn't stay with a man who betrayed my trust so easily. The next day, I decided to talk to her. I told her that I had seen them at the restaurant. Lena couldn't answer right away. Her face turned pale, and fear appeared in her eyes. She started saying that everything was not the way I think it was, that they just happened to meet and decided to have dinner together. But I knew that wasn't the case. There were too many indications that there was more between them. I asked her to tell the whole truth. And then she confessed. She admitted that she has been dating Igor behind my back for several months. She said that at first it started out just as casual conversations, that he was an interesting conversationalist. But then things went further. Her confession was like a punch in the gut. I couldn't believe she would do that. I felt empty. I loved her with all my heart and trusted her more than anyone. But now everything has collapsed. I left the apartment the same day and started packing. There was no point in me staying in a place that now seemed alien and hostile to me. Weeks have passed and I've been trying to recover from this blow. I stopped going to work, isolated myself from friends and family. My life has turned into a series of meaningless days. But over time I realized that I couldn't let it break me. I started chatting with friends, going outside, doing sports. It hurt, but I knew I had to move on. Lena tried to contact me, apologized and said that she had made a mistake, but I couldn't trust her anymore. I couldn't believe what she was saying. She destroyed everything we had, and I saw no point in going back. Over time, I began to see something more in this situation. I realized that betrayal, no matter how painful, can be a lesson. I realized that you shouldn't cling to people who don't respect you and your feelings. I've learned to be stronger and to believe that true love and loyalty still exist. Now I'm moving on, knowing that something better is ahead of me. I will never forget what happened, but I will also not let it define my life. I will be grateful for what I have been through and I will strive for the best. That was my story. If you have ever experienced betrayal, know that you are not alone, and there is always a light at the end of the tunnel.